Good afternoon. Today we're going to learn how to use the Attune NxT flow cytometer for our ROS and apoptosis experiments. To get started, you're going to select New Experiment on the dialog box and make sure you have tube selected, and you're going to name it your experiment. So for example, BIO320 section 1. It's going to ask you how many groups you have and how many samples you'll have for each group. Group is the number of treatments you have. So for example, we have a non-treated control group, we have a positive control group, we have our control groups that we're experimenting, so on and so forth. Samples is then how many times you're going to repeat this. So if you recall in class, we seeded triplicate repeats of each well, so you'll have 4 groups, and then you'll have 3 repeats of each group. Once you've done that, make sure it's selected to tube and labeled it. You're going to go ahead and hit OK. You're going to be given a few different boxes over here. This is going to be kind of your main control hub right over here, and this is where you're going to click to start the experiments. You can right-click at any time before or after you started or completed your experiment to rename each individual group. Before you get started, you're going to want to run compensations. So as you recall, we have 3 compensation groups for apoptosis and just 2 compensation groups for ROS. These compensations can be an unstained control group, or UC, and it could be one for each individual dye that you're going to be using in each experiment. So I'm going to go ahead and double select compensation, and I'm going to make sure again I have tube selected, and I'm going to use unstained control groups. So for example, if I'm going to be doing apoptosis, I'm only going to need blue laser 2 for propydium iodine, and I'm going to need red laser 1 for an NxT. I'll hit OK. And now it's going to know that I'm going to have 3 compensation groups. You'll know which tube you're running as it'll be highlighted in orange. So for example, I'm running my unstained control tube first. So now that I have that selected, I'll go ahead and take my sample, or my unstained control. I'll lower this tube here. And I'll make sure it's firmly on there. And then this is how I can change the collection panel. So for example, this is going to read 10,000 cells or 300 microliters of samples, whichever happens first. And then you'll always want to hit record and not run. Hitting run will not save your sample. So go ahead and hit record and let it read. And as you can see, it's now sucking in your sample, and it's going to count each individual cell one at a time. And essentially, you're just going to run your 3 controls. So your staining controls, then you'll run your NTC, you'll run your negative control, which is going to be with DMSO, and then you'll go ahead and run your experiments with cisplatin and PT-deco. You'll essentially just repeat that until you complete your experiment, and then you'll be all done.